Hey guys, how's it going? Centerton Cards back again to talk a little bit more about some things that happened yesterday. Before we get started, though, if you haven't yet, please subscribe and click like below. If you also hit that little bell, you'll get alerted every time I go live or put one of these videos up. So definitely appreciate it. Got a lot of traction the last few days. It's been great. So keep it up. Really appreciate it. And then also, if you aren't paying attention to the scroll below, that is my Twitter. It's also the same on Instagram too, but I'm definitely more active on Twitter than I am Instagram. But I do want to talk about yesterday's Walmart cancellation of all Bowman pre-sale. I know there's a lot of people who are upset about it. I was canceled also. I'm irritated, but a lot of the frustration I saw was at Walmart. And in all transparency, I live in Bentonville, which is the home office of Walmart. I work for an agency that supports Walmart, but I do not work for Walmart specifically. So just throwing that out there first. I do work in corporate affairs, though. That is the client that I support. However, I do know some of the ins and outs of how things work there. But the biggest thing is the all the kind of heat that Walmart's taken for this cancellation. It's not in their hands. Like it's not the same as the product on the shelf. So those are two different things. So for example, some of the things I saw people were saying, well, just take the product off the shelf and fulfill the pre-orders that you sold, since March or whatever. Um, that's not really how the blockchain works because the inventory in the stores is not the same inventory that is on their .com site. So, for example, the Walmart.com site is very much like Amazon. It's a marketplace so that vendors are supplying Walmart with these products. Most of the inventory is not even in Walmart's hands, it's in the suppliers. So in this case, obviously it was pre-order, so they didn't have the inventory, to sell. It was X amount that Tops said they would have available for Walmart to sell on .com. Obviously that didn't happen. They weren't able to fulfill that order, so Walmart had to cancel it. They can't sell what they're not provided, from the distributor, from Tops. The products on the shelf are a different purchase order. Like they purchased those directly as product, as real, live inventory. So those are two separate purchases, and those were billed that way. So there's no way to kind of cross those up because all the fulfillment would happen from Tops anyway on those pre-orders. It would have probably likely have never hit a Walmart DC. Everything in a Walmart DC though does ship to the stores. So that's when the product on the shelf would show up, as if they have it in Walmart's inventory, but not .com. So they're two separate kind of blockchains. And blockchain is a fancy way of putting together like the the trip, like the travel from the product itself, like the when it gets made or distributed or pulled, if it's produce, whatever, the very first point of that product to the end customer, whether it's online or in the store. So it tracks that whole journey. In this case, they're two different blockchain paths, so they never cross. So it's literally impossible to pull, product from the store inventory and just kind of make up that space or make up those sales that they had on the pre-orders. It's just that's not how it's set up. And Amazon set up very, very much the same way. So most of the things you buy on Amazon doesn't even own. They never even touch. It's generated by these vendors and distributors who have these products, who just use Amazon as a marketplace. And that's exactly what Walmart.com is. It's a marketplace. Walmart does fulfill orders, but they also fulfill, they send out the packaging for those orders to these distributors. So it was never in Walmart's hands. So to be irritated and frustrated at Walmart, trust me, I get it. I'm frustrated too, but it's not Walmart's fault. Like I've seen so many tweets and have had a few conversations about it, but it's not in their hands to say, obviously they're not taking it and reselling it because they don't have the avenue to do that. They're not that kind of place. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Like that's the product and that's the environment we're in right now with COVID and things not being regular as available as we expected. I'm sure Topps expected to have all of these, the whole run ready to go at this point and to be able to fill those pre-orders. But COVID happened, and that's not happening. So it's unfortunate, but I understand. I get the frustration, but it's really not should be directed at Walmart. It's not their fault. It's not. I mean, it's not really Topps' fault either. It's just it's how COVID's kind of impacted everything. Anyway, I don't know if that clears it up for some of you. Hopefully, it does. I had a few conversations on Twitter with some people about it, trying to kind of correct the narrative about what actually is happening with this kind of product and pre-orders and things like that. And I haven't looked, but I'm sure there's pre-orders on other items, non-baseball related, probably basketball, probably other, just not specifically collectibles at all, who've gone through the same issue. There's a beef shortage, so it's the same kind of thing. If Walmart sells beef, ahead of time, and it's not there, they have to cancel that order. They don't own the cow, so that's probably a terrible analogy, but it's easy to blame the Fortune 1 company in the world. I get it. They're the purchase point for these things. But like I said, in the long run, it's not their fault. They can't sell. They don't have. It's Topps who hasn't been able to ship those allotments out. And I'm sure they're just overwhelmed trying to get other product out. So, but yeah, they can't take the product off the shelf and replace the .com orders. Just doesn't work that way. I hope that clears it up. Probably not. I mean, people are still going to be mad at Walmart regardless. They're the most sued company in the world. So I get it. It's not lost on me, the severity of it. But again, like I said, it's not really their fault. So yeah, that's about it for this kind of chapter on Bowman. I'm going to hit the Project 2020 video later this afternoon. The new print runs were announced. We'll talk about those a little bit. We'll talk about kind of the impact of what that is. And I have a few questions, which is great. So I had several questions on my last YouTube video, and I have a couple more from Twitter. Get those into me. Be glad to talk about them and answer them later this afternoon. So yeah, just drop me a message on YouTube or drop me a message on Twitter, and we'll talk about it. All right. Thanks for joining, guys. Appreciate it. Talk to you later, and you'll see me again later this evening. Thanks.